Rootkits are an extremely complex type of malware. The goal of a rootkit is to stay hidden and fly under the radar as long as possible, and they do a damn good job of doing so. Anti-malware has a really hard time finding rootkits, and rootkits are often fooling security researchers and security professionals. So let's look at this from an attacker's perspective. If you want to gain access to a system and exploit it, what's the best way to stay hidden, make sure that you persist across re-imaging and restarts, and what's the best way to make sure that the anti-malware tools don't find you? And the best way to do that is with the rootkits, which compromise a system before you even get to the login screen. Okay, before you're even able to use the device or use the system, your system is already compromised. And how a rootkit is able to do that is rootkits often compromise a chain of events that starts from system power on to when you get to your login screen. This type of malware hooks into the very deepest parts of your system. So we're talking about drivers, firmware, and even the bootloader. So let's talk about bootkits, which are rootkits that are designed to exploit your bootloader. What's a bootloader? As soon as you power on your system goes through a chain of events that gets you from power on to the login screen. And the bootloader is one step in that process. So as soon as you hit that power on button, the firmware will actually power on all the components of your motherboard and your system. The firmware runs what's called a post check to make sure everything's running fine, to make sure that the hardware is running fine, and then it hands it off to the bootloader. This is all happening in the background. It's all happening extremely fast. So with a rootkit that exploits the bootloader, you can see that exploiting the bootloader, which is a process that's happening in the background really fast before you even get a chance to interact with the system, can be extremely problematic. The bootloader then searches your disk and finds what's called the OS kernel, right? So the bootloader is helping you get your OS to pop up, the operating system that you're going to interact with. So imagine the bootloader getting compromised by a rootkit. So essentially what's happening is you are being served a compromised version of your system. As soon as you get a chance to interact with your system, you are being served a compromised system. Before your anti-malware can even turn on and do its thing, you're being served a compromised system, right? So when your anti-malware is scanning your system and looking for anything out of the norm, anomalous, the rootkit is tricking your system into thinking that everything is all good, green lights everywhere. And the crazy thing is, if you try to get rid of this, right, if you try to do like a re-image where you're wiping your OS and reloading the OS, all that's going to happen is as soon as you start your system again, the bootloader, which wasn't affected during that wipe, is going to again compromise the new OS and just keep on serving you a compromised system. So that's why rootkits are extremely complex. They're extremely hard to achieve and successfully implement, but you can see how problematic rootkits are. So as a security professional, you need to understand rootkits and the various protection methods that have been implemented to protect the